Hello, I'm Montgomery here with Rob Licuria. We're here to talk about World of Dance, the reality series that just premiered on NBC this season, and it just had its season finale on August 8th. And we're here to talk about that and much more. So first of all, let's just lay it out. Rob, what happened in the season finale, and what did you think about the outcome?
So the season finale had each of the three divisional winners compete against each other. It's the first time that we've had performers in kind of different groupings perform against each other. So that was very interesting. They all did two routines each. And I would have put money down, really, that Eva Igo would have won the whole thing, and maybe even Swing Latino would have come second. I did not expect Les Twins to win. It was really close, which is cool, but I think I'm wondering, is it because of my bias against that particular style of dancing, or is it because I just really enjoyed Swing Latino, or because my daughter is obsessed with Eva Igo? I don't know, but I was very surprised to see Les Twins win the $1 million. I mean, that's not nothing to sniff at. That's really, really cool. What a major prize for two dancers who have been dancing for a very long time on YouTube. Yeah, I'm shocked. What did you think? Were you shocked?
Not really. I mean, I was a latecomer to the series. You've been watching it for the whole season. And so, as I was watching the last few episodes, I was, they were getting the highest scores of the season. So when I went to the season finale, I thought, okay, it'll probably be Eva Igo or Les Twins. It seemed very close between those two. And so I was just going by, well, they've scored the highest up to this point, and they managed to get the highest score of the season while one of them was in a wheelchair with a pretty bad leg injury, that week. So I'll pick them. And so, but after I actually watched their performances, especially in that round two, when Eva Igo had such a really great second round performance, I was a little surprised, but it was very close between first and third place. There was it was a separation of less than a point. So it was like Les Twins with 93.8 when they averaged them all together. Eva Igo with 93.6, so 0.2 of a point there, and then I think Swing Latino was 93.2 maybe. And so I kind of agree with you in the sense that Les Twins, I thought I could appreciate it on just a technical level. It's like, okay, I could see those physical movements are incredibly difficult, and I could not do them if I tried, obviously.
I'll get my back out.
And of course, same true with Eva Igo and Swing Latino. But in terms of me as a viewer, I was more personally compelled by the dance styles and the dance performances of Swing Latino and Eva Igo. I would have picked Eva Igo. A lot of our readers would have picked Eva Igo because a lot of people in our comments have said, we're not watching the show again because Eva Igo lost. Is it that serious to you, or are you boycotting season 2?
Definitely not. When the show premiered, I didn't know anything about it. I had no idea what was going on, and we just watched it as a family. It's a really good show to watch with kids, to be honest. So anyone who hasn't seen it yet, you could probably watch it on demand or however you want to see it. It's a really good show for kids because it sets a really good example. And so we were watching it, and from the very beginning, and I will totally be invested. I think the way it's produced is really beautifully done. I love the judges. I mean, J-Lo, she is a superstar for a very good reason. She just commands a screen, and the performances were incredible. I can't wait to see more. I was really invested in seeing the progression and how some of these acts were really so committed and so just so technically brilliant. And we're used to seeing stuff like that, like on shows like So You Think You Can Dance and things like that. But this one just was different. It kind of just focused our attention on a few very, very impressive acts and saw them progress through. So I can't wait for season 2. There will be a season 2 because it was quite a success. And I don't know if NBC was expecting that, premiering it in the summer. What's the background on that? Did they just dump it, thinking, let's see what happens with this thing?
I don't know. Probably not. I mean, it used to be the case maybe 10 or 15 years ago, and before that, summer used to be the time for reruns on television, or it's the dumping ground for the shows that the networks didn't really have any confidence in. I remember Survivor premiered during the summer. I don't think American Idol premiered during the summer. Even Dancing with the Stars, I think, premiered during the summer. So you have these shows that I don't think the networks had expectations in, and then when they hit big, they moved them into the regular season. Nowadays, though, it feels like it's a much different landscape. Summer is just there are summer shows, and that's what they are, and they can be big hits or smaller hits, but they're not lesser for being in the summer these days. So like So You Think You Can Dance is airing in the summer. America's Got Talent is airing in the summer. So I think now World of Dance, where that could be another summer reality TV staple.
Yeah, that's just where it belongs. But just speaking about the judges, Neo is a kind of a really cool guy to listen to. He's got a lot of insight. But I really, really am going to miss Derek Huff. I love his reactions when he kind of gets up and puts his arms in the air. Like, they're so giftable. Like, I want to make all these gifs just of Derek Huff getting excited. And every time I get excited about something in my life, I'm just going to post a gif of him doing that. Or Jennifer Lopez crying because she's so moved by a performance. The judges make it work. And that is the case on a lot of these shows. The judges or the host is someone that we like to be with. It's like we're going to visit with you again another week. And I want to have Jennifer Lopez on my screen more. I think she is such a superstar. First of all, she's stunningly beautiful, and I have no idea how old she is, not that it matters, but is she aging backwards? It's possible. I'm going to start researching that topic. But I think that she's done a really good job with this show. I'm very impressed and surprised.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things about a reality show, especially in its first season, you never know. There could be changes. They could mix things up, and now that they've had a season to see what works and maybe what doesn't work, what improvements or changes would you make to the format, if any, maybe going into season 2?
Yeah, there's one in particular that I really want to see happen, and that is, maybe they don't need to release the scores straight away, because I think they know what one person's on, especially if they're doing a duel or a cut type scenario. If you're doing the scores for a performer, you know where they're at, and then I think the judges will, maybe even subconsciously, if they want to see the second performer go through or be cut, they might adjust the scores in their mind. And I think it would be better to get them to both perform, they're scoring them privately, and then release the scores at the end and see who prevails. I think that would be much better. What do you think?
I think that's actually a good idea. The interesting thing about the judging of a show like this is you've got 3 judges, and so any one of them could sway things really drastically, depending on how they feel. And of course, if they've seen what just happened, they might be inclined to go a little higher or a little lower, to try and move the needle, regardless of what the other 2 judges think. So it might be interesting to, if the judges are completely blind to what the totals are and what the averages are, so that might surprise the judges then, what they end up sending through the next round, where they might end up, I did not intend that.
That's right. I think that would be heaps better. And the other thing that I would like them to do, which I very much doubt they will, is the show is obviously very slickly produced. And the one bugbear I have for American reality TV especially, is all the pre-caps and recaps, and then the the build up. There's a lot, like, the content is probably half of the actual show. The rest of it is just all the other padding. It'd be really good for them to maybe reduce that stuff and give us more performances. Look, the performances are a very small part of this show. It's a lot of talking, there's a lot of emotional build up. That's lovely, but I just want to see dancers dancing on the stage. That's what I really want to see. So maybe more of that.
Yeah, I think one of the things about that, and maybe this is something else they can consider for next year, is that it's a taped show. Through beginning to end, it was all taped. So more like a Survivor or an Amazing Race, and less like other dance shows like So You Think You Can Dance and Dancing with the Stars, which go live to decide the winner towards the end of So You Think You Can Dance, and the whole season of Dancing with the Stars is live. So I'm wondering if maybe they should, after maybe a few initial preliminary rounds that maybe are taped, then go live with a top 10 or top however many in whatever the divisions are, so that you can actually see them perform live. And so that in and of itself, I think, would end up cutting a lot of the filler, because obviously you just got to get acts out there, you got to get them off stage. You gotta, one thing that might hurt is you see some of these performances have such high production values. Like they bring out the sets, they bring out these props, and
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd be able to do that to that extent if they had to swap out everything in just like a commercial break.
Yeah, that's probably maybe that's asking a bit much, but I think they need to put a bit of heat in it, and maybe going live, or maybe taping it live like they do for The Voice or something like that. The Voice does use some really cool sets and backgrounds, so maybe they need to kind of adjust it that way. That's a very good point. The other thing I would ask is, I was trying to work out the other day when I was watching this, what other divisions could they come up with? Because we've got the juniors, and we've got the uppers, and then we've got the groups, but maybe they could split them out more. And I have a feeling that they may do that. They may want to mix it up, but I couldn't for the life of me think of what they would come up with. And yeah, I'm just drawing a blank. Have you got any ideas?
I guess, it's interesting because you've got teams and upper, but upper and team could both consist of multiple.
Yeah.
Like the upper division, contestants 18 and over, and it's as many as 4 people in an act, as opposed to the team division, which is more than 4 dancers on the stage. I think you could maybe even do, because I feel like the most splits are available there. You can do an upper division that's just soloists. And then you could have maybe duos, and then maybe groups would be 3 or more.
Yeah.
It feels odd to think of, like, if you have 4 people on a team, that's not a team. So maybe they could do something like that. Or they have a junior division. Maybe they could do like a pre-junior division where it's just like toddlers, literally just.
Oh my God, I would watch that in a heartbeat. Yeah, I want to see toddlers dancing, but not like the ones that dress up like with the makeup and the really kind of sexy outfits. No one wants to see that, but just having kids kind of dancing around, especially if they're like popping and locking, that would be cool to watch.
And another interesting thing that they might be able to do with this show, which another way it's different from other dance shows on the air right now, is to potentially, and you'd have to do this in sort of a live format, or at least a format where you tape every week and not have the whole thing taped before it airs, is maybe introduce a viewer voting aspect to it, so that fans get a chance to weigh in. Because I know a lot of our readers who were reading our recap articles were like furious that Eva Igo lost, and that Swing Latino even made the final, and all that sort of stuff. And so they don't get a voice. It's really literally just those 3 judges deciding every step of this competition and who wins $1 million. So do you think they should introduce some kind of viewer voting? If not,
they need to do it somehow, like maybe have a component of this score be the people texting in or something, because people are passionate. Like, I keep referring to my kids because they were the ones who were on their feet kind of like clapping and cheering and dancing and kind of following the moves, and they were really into it. And when Eva Igo lost, they were very disappointed. I had to explain that, well, maybe her first routine wasn't completely on point, and and she lost some points for that, and that's probably why she lost. And then they were not very happy about Swing Latino. Like a lot of our readers, I noticed that our readers are very upset about Swing Latino making it through over Kinjaz, and I don't agree with that. I just want to challenge that. I think Swing Latino are amazing, infectious, and fast-paced. I want to watch Swing Latino for the rest of today. If I could do that, I'd be in a very happy place, but that's obviously not possible. So if that was the case, maybe we would have seen a group like Kinjaz make it through, or maybe Keone and Mari. I really miss watching them. Their last routine, at the end when he brings out the ring, almost brought a tear to my eye, which is hard because I have, a black soul. So I'm very interested in how that might switch things up a bit.
Yeah, I was noticing that hate too for Swing Latino, and literally the first performance of because I arrived to the show late, so I only saw the division finals for that was the only performance I had seen of Kinjaz. That was the first performance I'd seen of Swing Latino, and I watched that and I thought, oh, Swing Latino was really, really great, and it makes sense that they went through, and maybe not as precise in the same way as Kinja's was, but Kinja's is a completely different style of dance. I wasn't looking for perfect synchronicity from Swing Latino. What they were doing was a completely different kind of thing. And now that we have complimented Swing Latino, we have guaranteed that 90% votes on this video will be thumbs downs.
We're going to get a lot of hate mail.
We're biased, and
it's so true.
we should no longer judge World of Dance.
Basically, we should just never speak again. And that just reminded me, probably the other change that they could maybe make is to break them up into our genre divisions instead. And so then we have hip hop dancers battling against hip hop dancers, and contemporary against contemporary, and ballroom, and whatever. I don't know. I can't think of any other styles and genres, but that could be a way, because it's very hard to judge a hip hop dancer as opposed to a contemporary. They're very different styles, which is probably why in the junior division we ended up with two girls who both danced in a very similar style. The hip hop dancers just weren't able to hold a candle to their tricks and their flexibility, and and the way that they were able to move. So yeah, there's a lot of things that they can tweak, and I hope they give it they try and make it better.
And what was your favorite routine of the whole season, would you say?
Oh, that's a tough one, because there was some early on in the season that I was blown away by, but thinking about the most recent stuff, as I mentioned, the Keone and Mari with the ring at the end was a stunner for me. I wasn't, he had this makeup where they looked like they were in a black and white movie. It surprised me. I just was so moved by it. For me to be moved by a dance routine, it's kind of like weird. So that's not like me at all. So that says something. That I thought they were really impressive. What about you? What was your favorite routine that you saw?
On the small list of things that I saw, and there are so many on YouTube, and they've all been viewed by hundreds of thousands of people. But the ones I've seen, and the one I loved the most was Eva Igo, the division finals,
right?
Where she on that dome, she had like that war paint. Oh, that was cool. That was just
really cool.
And it was so great how she was able to turn on that character, that badass character, and then at the very end, as soon as the dance is over, she just she just goes right back into her own personality. It's such a testament to her ability to suddenly inhabit this character of this dance. I was afraid of her in a good way.
I was very afraid of her too. And Diana Pombo, she was a wonderful, very gifted dancer, and she really didn't have a hope. Once Eva Igo was finished with that Mad Max routine, it was kind of a no-brainer that she was going to win.
Well, with that, thank you so much for joining me to talk about World of Dance. And now we can do this again next year, or maybe on a weekly basis.
I think we should.
The show's done, and how many people love it and how many people hate it, how many people hate it because they love it in weird ways. So thank you very much, and everyone out there, thank you for watching, and we're looking forward to next season.